Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
This evening I will be sharing a song and a little commentary perhaps on this week's Torah portion. And it is a special one, this week's Torah portion, because it's a double portion. The portion Tazria Mitzorah, a parasha often approached with some discomfort or perhaps confusion, unless you are a dermatologist. The reason for that is because this deals with tzara'at, which is a skin condition, sometimes mistranslated as leprosy, and outlines procedures for diagnosis, isolation, and eventual reintegration into the community. Now, at first glance, this seemed rather clinical, perhaps distant from our daily lives, and I turned to a friend and he said to me, "Look to the burning bush," just as Moses did. I did not see a bush, but instead I looked in Exodus chapter 3, and there we read alongside of the burning bush where Moses has his first encounter with God and a meaningful connection emerges. In the burning bush story, Moses sees something strange, a bush on fire, but not consumed. What sets Moses apart is not just that he sees it, but that he stops to look more closely. The Torah, Moses says, "I must turn aside to look at this marvelous sight." Only then does God call out. This week's Torah portion also asks us to look closely. The priests are instructed to examine those with skin irregularities, not to shame them, but to discern, to guide, and ultimately to help restore. There's a sacred attentiveness built into these laws. Healing in this portion begins with noticing, followed by careful response. In both texts, we're reminded that holiness begins when we slow down enough to truly see. Whether it's a flame that burns without consuming or a person who perhaps is quietly suffering on the margins. There's also deeper spiritual message here that God's presence is not just found in miracles, but in the acts of paying attention. In Moses' story, God is revealed in a bush, lowly, thorny, and ordinary. In this week's Torah portion, holiness is found in our responsibility towards those with physical or emotional pain. Now, these aren't flashy or majestic settings, but they are moments charged with potential. Both texts urge us to live with radical attentiveness, to stop, to look, to begin, to listen to the still small voice, whether they come from a burning bush or someone quietly seeking healing and belonging. So, on this Shabbat, perhaps we can ask ourselves, what have we overlooked that might be asking for attention? Who in our lives needs to be seen more fully? How can we, like Moses, respond to God's call, not because we feel ready, but because we feel responsible? May we all find courage to notice, the compassion to respond, and the faith to believe that every moment, no matter how ordinary, can be holy ground. Now, the song I wish to share comes from this idea of the story of the burning bush, which, as we all know, there's a bush that's burning, cries out, believe it's God. Moses speaks to God through this. And there's a teaching that goes along with this, which is this idea that that bush was maybe calling out for a really long time. And what that bush was calling out was this word, ayeka. Everybody say, ayeka. Ayeka means, where are you? Ayeka. Ayeka. And it was Moses who heard that and called out, Hineni, here I am. So this idea, the Midrash, is perhaps this bush was calling out, Ayeka, over and over and over again. Maybe nobody heard it. Maybe people walked by the bush and thought, look at that, there's a bush burning. And then they just kept walking. And the bush kept calling, Ayeka. And more people kept walking by and going, well, isn't that interesting? There's a bush that's burning. Until one day, Moses perhaps is the one who stopped and was like, guys, there's a bush burning. What is happening here? So this is calling on us to have extraordinary in these moments to look and listen. And all around us, there are fascinating things, extraordinary things in times with which we can all be called upon. So this song is called Hineni. I will sing the refrain of the song, and then you will sing along with me, and this will be our part to join in. So we sing like this. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Every time that rolls around, you'll join with me. The rest of the song sounds like this. Here I am. I will listen for my moment. Here I am. I will step up when I am chosen. Here I am. I will heal what has been broken. I will live with my heart open. Ayeka, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am, here I am. Ready to gather up the pieces, here I am. Ready to help the ones who need it, here I am. When the world seems like it's burning, it's on us to keep it turning. Ayeka, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Ani ve'ata nהיה פה ביחד. אני ואתה נהיה פה ביחד. אני ואתה נהיה פה ביחד. הנני, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Ayeka, Hineni, Hineni, here I am. Shabbat Shalom.